Alright, peoples, I've got an exciting day for you. If it's not for you, I know it is for me. So I finally got done designing and writing the G code for my bellow covers for my Z axis. So it's going to be 9 5/8 long, 3.5 inches wide, 3/4 thick. We got a .770 wide slot, a bunch of 1/4 inch diameter holes for a M6 bolt for some socket head Allen cap screws. Quiet, kitty. Kitty, I know you need attention. So we've got the 2D pocket milling set up and ready to run. We can run the simulation. My cat gets jealous every time I start talking to somebody or a camera. Quit it. Let's speed this up. So, long story short, take 100 thou depth of cut per pass. 3 passes with a final roughing at depth for 60 thou. Total depth is 370. We got 2 finishing passes using cutter compensation. We got the drilling exercise using the same tool, 3 fluted end mill, 1/4 inch diameter, 100 thou peck, 5 inches a minute, or is it 7 inches a minute? One of the two. So we are going to run this together. Now there's a trick going up my sleeve. Not really a trick, but it's going to be a nice touch, and I'm going to show you here in just a second. Now, like I said, we're going to be doing the whole thing together. So simulation looks good. I already got the program put on Mac 3 on my other computer. Excuse my living room, but I had to make room for this bad boy. So a lot of you guys were asking about my setup, so here it is. I do have the 4th axis driver in there. It's a KL5056E driver for a NEMA 23 570 ounce 5 amp motor, which is what all 3 of these are. So instead of making these out of aluminum, we're going to make them out of wood. We got some red oak, kind of laid out where my holes are going to be when I was kind of mocking up where stuff needs to go and where it doesn't need to go. So we're going to put a slot in here, just like you've seen in the simulation, drill some holes, and we're going to run this together. So I've already proven out the program. I made a few edits to replace feed rates with rapid movements. We're going to do 15,000 RPM, 60 inches a minute. This is what I mean. If any of you guys don't know with Fusion 360, if you got the personal use, they replace all the rapids with feed rates. So it will use your active feed rate in the program. So if you're doing 25 inches a minute, then that's what your rapid's going to be. I'm using 60 inches a minute, and it was 60 inches a minute. But I went through the program, went through all the editing, put rapid movements where they need to go. I also added a M01 in between my cycles. With Fusion 360, you can only output 1 simulation at a time, or 1 G-code program at a time. So you have to output multiple programs and then copy and paste and put them into 1 program if that's what you like. That's what I like to do because I'm using the same tool. I do not want to do tool changes, so I just added a G28 and an M01. M01 is an optional stop. So when it's done doing its contouring or its pocket cycle, it'll go to its home location where I set up already, and it will continue on and wait for me to give it a cycle start. And then, sorry, let me back up. It'll go home, wait for me to give it a cycle start, and once I give that command, then it will start to execute all these hole locations using a G83 drilling cycle. Like I said, 100 thou peck, feed rate of 5. So let's see how she runs. Like I said, I already dry ran this in the air just to prove everything out. I'm going to set this up on my handy dandy chair. See, we can't move this over here. I think we are ready. So it's doing a 100th thou depth of cut with a step over of 125. Again, 15,000 RPM and a feed rate of 60. Can you imagine if those were just aluminum chips hitting that glass? That would sound so awesome. I don't know about y'all, but I love the sound of metal hitting the glass. Such satisfying. Fluted carbide end mill, 1/4 inch diameter. It's actually one of my aluminum end mills. I figured the high helix angle would be really good for the wood. Probably run this at 100 inches a minute. In case any of you guys are wondering, I do have, if you want to know my speeds from my Mach 3 settings, I'm using a 150 inches or 150 whatever the velocity is. I think it's 150 inches a minute in velocity settings in the motor tuning. So 150 for X and Y. I'm using 110 for Z. Acceleration is at 15, and I'm not sure if that means milliseconds or what, but it's set at 15, so it's pretty much instant. I've seen a lot of horror stories and a lot of videos and pictures of people breaking their couplings. Just snapping those suckers when the acceleration was too high. So I don't want to go too high and have that same issue. For the settings I have now, it sounds like a CNC. See the noise difference. Sounds really good. Alright, that's the final depth at cut. I'm sorry, the final rough at depth. Now it's doing a finish pass. I already adjusted my cutter comp and I took off 25 thou per side. Cutter comp was at 125 and I took it all the way down to 100. Alright, let's get that. Got my optional stop on. Did you guys might want to take a peek? Alright, my target size is 785-ish. 790. Oh, right on the money. It's kind of hard doing this on a stand. These bellow covers, these measure about 760, so that'll give me about 15 thou clearance per side on the bellow covers, so they don't get dangled up and dragging too hard and possibly like wear a hole in them and rip them. That feels really nice. Alright, let's drill some holes. Alright, cycle start. Got my end mill sticking out, 800 long. Final cutting depth is 770, so I got about 30 thou clearance between the material and that black collet nut. Whenever you're machining anything, you want to have the shortest stick out possible for your tool. Really important to have it short and rigid. One more hole. When it's done with that hole, it's going to go to its G28 home location in the back left corner. I got 2 of these to make, and I made the design symmetrical so I can use the same program for each plate. Ooh, that smells good. good. Two off on that side. 343. 350. 345. 351-ish. You can take her off. Alright, let me see what I'm seeing here. So, I thought it would be a nice idea to do it out of wood. And the way I designed my Z-axis, let's see if we can get a close-up of this. So the way I designed my Z-axis for the spindle plate, and then this back linear block plate, I guess you want to call it, I left a step on there, and I did it on both sides. So that way when these bellow covers are on here, they have a nice step to sit on. And then also it doubles up as a mounting location for the bellow cover, so these 3 holes, I can just drill and tap some metric 4 bolts. Some socket head Allen cap screws to go right here. I thought these would look really nice. Do some final sanding. See if we can't pop those plugs out. Sorry about the video camera. Very nice. Just gonna make one more. I'm really digging this enclosure. Maybe some of you guys want to see my whole setup here, so I just took some rubber, I'm not even sure what kind of hose that is. It's like a heater hose. Just put a slit down the middle. Got my heat transformer. A couple fans on there. Got it sitting on some foam. That way I don't have to worry about it rattling and vibrating from when I'm cutting stuff. Actually machining. Got my 110 to 220 converter. Plugs into the 110 receptacle. It's for the VFD, for the spindle. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Anything you want me to make. After I finish up these bellow covers, I'm going to start trying to do some 3D designing with some wood. I'll have my desk boot in the mail in a couple days, and we'll be able to go to town. So hopefully by then, I can have this Z-axis all finally assembled and see how it looks with the wood plates. I think it's going to look really nice.